This is the bonus episode for Closed Doors featuring the Real DMT. This is the first video version of a bonus episode, and it couldn't have come at a better time for a better song. I mean, this is probably my most controversial song yet and my most hyped song yet. And the Real DMT just killed it with his addition, which you'll hear as well. In this episode, I'm not only going to break down the whole song itself and give you an inside scoop on the making of it, but I'm also going to play you the full song at the end of this episode. So stay tuned for that. This is really exciting. It's releasing on Saturday, May 30th. And you'll be able to find it Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you want to find music, SoundCloud, it's going to be there. You can also listen to it on my website, MAZEMENT.co. If you're in my email thread, you've been getting the countdown since 10 days prior to May 30th. And you've been getting little hints here and there, whether it's lyrics from the song or a fact about the song. So what I'm going to do quick before we get into any of the stories or any of the older versions is I'm going to catch you up to speed on what you've missed if you haven't been in that email so far. So in that email thread, if you have missed it, I'll break it down briefly of what you've missed for the 10-day countdown. We have one more day left of the countdown, which is tomorrow. So if you're not in the thread and you want to get that last hyped up fact or lyric, email me at music@mazement.co. I'd be happy to add you in on the thread and share that fact with you. Not only did I go through facts and different lines of whatever, I also, on the 10 days prior, the first fact I emailed was the idea behind the song, which is what I want to get into first anyways. The idea behind Closed Doors came about when I saw how open society has gotten and how everybody was just willing to share their opinion no matter what it was. And I just felt like that was dangerous in a delicate time. You know, too many people were talking about things that they shouldn't. And I feel like there's no such thing anymore as privacy. So that's kind of sparked the idea of Closed Doors in my head, because I was like, you know, whatever happened to things happening behind closed doors. But like, I never really was a controversial writer. I never really wanted to write controversial rap. It just wasn't my thing, because I only had so much to say anyways, and still do. I don't really have a lot to say anyways. So I started off with that, gave you the idea 10 days prior. So that way it kind of showed you what the song was going to be about. Then I gave a few different lyrics, which you'll hear them in the song at the end of this episode. And I also told how Closed Doors has been in the works for about 6 years now with multiple versions, which in this episode, you will hear those versions. You will hear a few of them. I couldn't find all of them. That's how far back it goes. The final production of Closed Doors was created with the intent of having the lyrics stand out rather than buried behind the busy instrumental. That was another fact I released through email, which is true as well. You'll notice that these other versions of it are a little more busy. The beats are more exciting, but they're dark. And I didn't really want all those elements together in the final. I wanted the lyrics to stand out and be up front. So that's what you'll hear in the final as well. The original production included more instrumental elements and vocals in general. Now it's just simplified. Yeah, I mean, pretty much that's what happened. I mean, and the original actually exceeded 5 minutes in time. That was today's email. I sent that out this morning. So that just goes to show you how much work has been going on. This has easily been in the process since probably like 2014. What took me so long to release it was just the fact that what takes me so long to release anything is I care about it too much before I release it. You just have to write it, record it to your best, and release it. And that's what I'm doing now. And what happened with this song was I really wanted it to make the impact that I intended to make when I wrote it. You know, like if I'm going to write a controversial song, I want to make sure it hits, you know, and that's what I had to wait for. And the Real DMT definitely helped me out with that. Without him, this song wouldn't be as powerful as it is. It definitely wouldn't have motivated me to release it as soon as I did if he didn't jump on it. But once he jumped on, I was like, okay, this is it. This is the raps. You know, this song sounds complete now, finally. This one right here I'll play. This is a version from 2017. And this is kind of what it started off as. You got the door closing in the beginning. I mean, this is just a beat. In the new version, you don't even get this same synth or anything. A lot of these elements aren't even in the new one. So I incorporated turntables. I made it a dark beat to complement the lyrics that are controversial, which, to be honest with you, it really could have worked over this beat if I took a few elements out of it, but I kind of grew out of that since I was working with it so long and I heard it so many times. And I almost released I might even still do it. I might even release a version over that beat just to add like a remix or something out there. But that was the verse, and then there was a hook on that one. Which pre-hook into the hook. So it definitely had some momentum, you know, it was building up and it was definitely mimicking what I wanted to do at the time. You know, I was trying to blend EDM with hip hop as much as I could, and that had that feel. Going in after that, this was a little bit of the lyrics. I even had a hook on it that a friend jumped on. Shout out to Mixed Girl Productions. When it panned out with DMT on this track, I just didn't want to add too many elements. I wanted us to stand out more, like I said. So you got those two versions, and then you could tell early 2019 it started to evolve into more of what it is today. Hey, what's that noise? It's familiar. So that's a rough version, and you just heard the first few lines, gave that to you a little quick. Very rough versions, you know, and then May of last year. It got bigger and bigger, louder and louder, different effects. I mean, my effects on last year's version were definitely different too. Hey, what's that noise? It's familiar. Yeah. What's that beat? Is that a girl? Never heard of her. I don't know where I got that sound from, but that was me. It kind of evolved from there, like I said. If you're looking for a song just to vibe out to, just sitting, listening to music, this is a good song for that kind of setting. I wouldn't necessarily work out to this. I mean, I guess it's kind of aggressive enough to do it, but it's almost like the anticipation behind the lyrics is to grab your attention so you listen. I mean, when I'm working out, I don't really listen to lyrics. I'm just listening to the beat. So whatever works for you. But I guess this is more for like a chill vibe. If you're hanging out with a few friends, want to listen to some authentic hip hop, that's what this song is for. In the first verse, I mean, I didn't really stick to any radio format with this song. I don't know, I didn't have that intention. I wasn't really pitching it to mainstream media as I usually am with the other songs like Number One and some of the others. More so with this one, I was just trying to get the message across and get people to, you know, react to it. So the first topic I covered, well, basically by me saying that, I'm just telling you it was not standard format. I think my verse was at least 32 bars or something like that. And then it goes into a tiny pre-hook. Then DMT does like easily a 16, then then another hook, and then he does another 16 after that or whatever. So it's just like juggled it around a little bit. We didn't really organize anything. We just wanted it to be structured enough that you heard the lyrics in a rhythmic fashion, I guess would be the better way to say it. So in the first verse, when I come in, I target trap music. Not a surprise. On this podcast, I've targeted that since day one, but in a song, I haven't really done it yet to the best that I could. This song, I feel like I did that. I feel like I really exposed it for what it was or what it is. I just hope I see it phase out pretty soon after this. Who knows? But after trap music, I target the government a little bit. I bring up corporate America and how everything's expensive and, poor people stay poor, rich people get richer, that type of mentality. I go into how the news covers up a lot of stuff, media, they cover up a lot, they sugarcoat a lot, they tell false stories. Not really saying it's fake news all the time, but I'm just saying there's a lot more that we don't know usually to these stories. And a lot of people don't realize that. The final topic I bring up is probably, if not the most controversial one I bring up, it's, one of them, it's up there, but it's religion. Basically, the things you never bring up in public in a conversation are politics and religion. Especially on social media, I see a lot of people doing that nowadays. Not me. I'm just not for it. And I just don't think anybody should be. It's not even my opinion. I have a lot of people that agree with me on that. It's just not the platform for it. I mean, I guess some people may say, oh, that's what I use Facebook for. Okay, fine. Whatever works for you. But I just don't condone it. But politics and religion were both brought up in this song because of the theory behind it. It's behind closed doors. Technically, me as an artist, I was behind closed doors when I wrote this and I'm releasing it. I'm releasing it to the public just because not only to share my opinion and to give a different perspective on these topics, to also encourage others to go behind closed doors when you say similar things, But my take on religion came at the end of my verse, and it's definitely going to turn some heads. There's going to be a lot of people that disagree with me, but it's an opinion's an opinion. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. It's just what I believe. Everybody is entitled to their own beliefs, and this one's mine. DMT targets hip-hop today, whether it's trap or whatever it's called. He targets how society is, but his wordplay is sophisticated. It's to the point. It really makes you think. He knows how to, he can come up with stuff on the spot like that. Like, you'll have to check him out on social media if you don't believe me. Half of his videos are on the spot. He's at Queen's Comfort every weekend when it's pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, hopefully. He's at Queen's Comfort with Rob Swift and a few other people, and he freestyles while people eat brunch, and that's on the weekends. Like, he does stuff like that. And that's why I felt like he was perfect for this song, because his direction lyrically is controversial. He's targeting today's topics, government, what the media is covering and stuff like that. He's always covering it. So he fit the song and this idea perfectly, which is why I pulled him on it. But either way, that's pretty much everything about Closed Doors. That's pretty much all I could tell you about it. Originally, those versions, the older versions, were set to be on an EP I was going to release that I announced way too early a couple of years back, I believe. It was called Never Lost. I did a whole photo shoot and everything for it, but Never Lost is probably not going to happen. And if it does, it'll happen far in the future. But Closed Doors was supposed to be on that. Obviously, that's not going to happen anymore. Closed Doors is coming out as a single May 30th. And yeah, so Never Lost, every other song on that will probably be released as a single as well. But you'll hear about that when you hear about that. I'm definitely not going to say anything now. This will most likely be the last serious, controversial, conscious hip-hop song that I release before I get back into the fun stuff, upbeat stuff, and, mainstream type sound. So definitely give it the credit it deserves, since it's been in the process for as long as it has been. And I really appreciate all the support so far. Everybody replying to the emails, sending me private messages, giving me feedback. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback, and I've also gotten a couple constructive criticism, messages as well, which I appreciate those as well, because it helps me grow as an artist. I appreciate all my podcast listeners and everybody that's been listening to every episode. With all that being said, the moment you've been waiting for, this is my next single, Closed Doors, featuring the Real DMT. Mazement.
Hey, what's that noise? It's familiar. What's that beat? Is that a girl? Never heard of her. What's that language? Is it Yiddish or gibberish? You got a mouthful, you chewing on licorice? I really wanna get it, think I gotta read the lyrics. Okay, now I get it, think I can hear it.
Rolex, Rolex, Rolex,
The analog on the wrist, I'm rocking hologram shit. Their lines are full bars, infinite when I spit. Label them as talented, it's making me wanna quit. Okay, I think it's time to talk some politics. Corporate America, nothing is ever free unless you have a couple million and ride in a limousine. If you're low to mid-class, then you know what I mean. Stretching every penny, nickel, dime, quarter for the tiniest things. It's really stupid, so inhuman, I agree. Working 9 to 5, 40 some odd hours a week. Giving away your soul, as it may like to seem. Trying to satisfy your needs to live the American dream. And we're all being played like a game not in season. Pin at a grenade, it's a war, what's the reason? I know we feed the pocket, just the pockets full of greed. We're sacrificing lives of our own just to please them. Television's telling stories every morning, we believe them. They wear a nice suit with a smile so deceiving. It's hard to tell the future when the present's full of grieving. I'll say this one time, F you, now I'm leaving. If religion was created to keep them going insane, cheap way for the poverty to cope with the pain. Not a true believer, but I think it still should remain. Unless you wanna be proud of just eating genius brains. Not focused on today, but the life after death. Torturing, waiting for a wedding just to have sex. Believe it when you read it, forgetting about the reasons or however much you need it. Being really gullible, they'll never get to see it.
President thinking the world needs more nukes, while radio thinks that music needs more puke. What happened to the truth? I don't hear it in the lyrics. They like, man, that should be damaging the spirit. Set yourself apart from the rest of humanity using status symbols. Vanity is truly insanity. It's illusion, material in lieu of enlightenment. See the man behind the curtain and you wonder where the fighting went. It'd be solved if we all be involved. So respond to the call, we adapt, we evolve. I'd say grow balls, but balls are my weak spot. One, kick 'em down, but pussy get pounded a lot. Pussy brought you to life, the earth gateway, and we don't respect it. Supreme Court rape day, GOP payday, USA is Mayday. Shit is scary as playing a game with Uncle Ray Ray. What really grinds my gears is when you hear orange juice, toothpaste, that's the flavor in your ear. The language dumbed down, man, they bout to spit emojis. Seen the sickness taking hold of the genre, infecting slowly. They started by converting celebration to thuggery. From good vibrations to why the fuck you mugging me? Beautiful to ugly, communicate the straight up hate expression to investing in the criminal state. Privatized prisons, hip-hop is basically commercial for. Listening is bad enough, believing it'll hurt you more. Motivated by hatred and ill will generated. Younger generation leaving hip-hop desecrated. Solution is truth, you fix it in the vocal booth, and in the future see results right in the pudding, there's the proof. Water to the roots, the tree is healthy, you leave. So many people giving up, but me, I choose to believe.